everyone. Today I'm very excited to merge my personal life with my scientific work to tell you all about my research. Let's start with my personal life first. So I'm not only a scientist, but I'm also the mom of these adorable twins you can see here. They are looking absolutely cute, incredibly cute, right? Unfortunately, this is not always the case. Most of the time, I have to deal with this. And when you hear a baby cry, your first thought might be, what does the baby need and how can I help him to calm him down? And of course, as their mom, that's also my first thought and I want to help them. Just for a split second, though, the scientist in my head wonders, how many hair cells did I lose in this round? And now you might ask yourself, what are hair cells and why do my twins seem to be their biggest enemy? Let's talk first about hair cells. Hair cells are specialized sensory cells in the inner ear, and they are crucial for hearing and balance. So in the inner ear, we have the structure called cochlea, and the cochlea contains 15,000 of these hair cells. They are called hair cells because they have these hair-like protrusions on their surface, and these protrusions move in response to sound waves. So you can think of a hair cell like a transducer, which takes the movement from the mechanical movement, which is caused by the sound wave, and it converts it into an electrical signal. And this electrical signal then is sent to the brain, and the brain translates it into a sound, and we can hear then the sound. So you now get the idea that the hair cells are really important for hearing. But unfortunately, they are also very fragile. For example, noise over 85 decibel can already damage hair cells. They are very fragile. And now we can get back to the question why my twins are their biggest enemies. Of course, I did what every scientist parent would do. I measured how loud my twins can get. And these little humans there can hit up to 100 decibel when they cry. Mostly when they cry at the same time. So we all agree that my hair cells are going through a really rough time lately. But unfortunately, my twins are not the only enemies of hair cells, so also hair cells have other enemies too, for example, aging, ototoxic drugs, genetic defects, infections. And the bad news is that once damaged, hair cells can die and they don't regenerate in mammals. And this can then lead to hearing loss. And there are many tragic consequences of hearing loss, like social isolation, depression, communication problems. And it's known that over 430 million people worldwide are affected by hearing loss, and it's expected that in 2050 this number will hit around 700 million. So it's a real big problem and a big issue. And that's why our lab is working on regenerating hair cell and helping those who are affected by it. So we already talked about the bad news. In mammals, we have this problem that when hair cells die, they don't regenerate, and we have hearing loss. The good news is the nature shows us the blueprint how to regenerate hair cells. Birds, fish, and reptiles can regenerate hair cells after hair cell death naturally. So in our lab, what we do, we use two model organisms. We have the chicken and we have the mouse. The chicken has the capability of regenerating hair cells, and the mouse, which is a mammal like us, cannot regenerate hair cells. Very recently, we found out that in chicken, when hair cells are damaged, specific genes are expressed in the adjacent cells to the hair cells. And once the hair cells die, these genes cause cell division and eventually hair cell regeneration. And what we do in our lab is we learn from birds, and then we take this knowledge to translate it to mammals. We do so by first doing a controlled damage to the inner ear of a mouse. So we damage the hair cells in a controlled manner. And then we use our mouse damage model to express those genes which we found in chicken to regenerate hair cells via gene therapy. This is the current topic of my work. So right now we are working on exactly this. And our ultimate goal is to regenerate hair cells in humans, of course, and help those who are affected by hearing loss. But in the meantime, I will need to use other very effective tools against the biggest enemies of my hair cells, which I had at home. And our research at home showed that there is one very effective tool, which I want to share with you.